weight I didn't tell you about lived quietly in my chest. I carried it between conversations, smiling through what I never learned how to confess. I didn't want to tip the balance, didn't want to need too much, so I held my heaviness gently, afraid it might change the way you touch me or stay. I thought love could sense burden, that care didn't need a name. But unspoken weight grows heavier when no one knows what you're holding every day. The weight I didn't tell you about slowly shaped the way I stood. Not broken, not dramatic, just tired from being good. We didn't fight, we didn't fall, no truth to point or shout. The weight I didn't tell you about, and my heart learned some silence isn't peace, it's pressure you live with out loud. I listened more than I spoke, let your days fill the room. I told myself mine could wait, that time and would arrive soon. You asked if everything was okay, I said I was fine again. But fine can be a careful answer when you're afraid of what honesty might demand. I confused the dependence with strength, holding with being whole. But strength isn't carrying everything alone until it overflows. The weight I didn't tell you about, I felt it in my breath, in the way my body stayed alert instead of coming to rest. You said I seemed distant lately, that something felt unclear. The weight I didn't tell you about was teaching me how loneliness can exist, even when someone's near. Maybe I was protecting you, or maybe I was afraid, because once you share the weight you carry, you risk it being too much for someone to stay. I didn't need fixing or solution or answers lying in place. I just needed room where my heaviness wasn't something I had to erase. Now I speak before weight settles, before silence makes it grow. I trust the urge to be honest, even when my voice moves slow. I'm learning weight doesn't disappear just because you're kind, and love that makes space for heaviness is love that doesn't leave parts of you behind. The weight I didn't tell you about, and I stayed longer than I should. Not because I didn't feel it pressing, but because I remember the good. I remember us without bitterness, without blaming what I hid. The weight I didn't tell you about, and choosing myself is how I learned love should feel supportive and open, like hands that don't pull away. Not something you carry quietly alone, while convincing yourself you're being strong enough. Some weight is invisible, it's endured. And if you're carrying weight you never told anyone about, you're not weak, you're human. But healing begins when you let the weight be seen, when you stop protecting silence And when you choose a love that doesn't ask you to be light all the time, but knows how to stay when things feel heavy and real. Your love arrived with limits before I knew their names. I felt them in the pauses and the way affection stopped short of where my heart waited. You loved me carefully, selectively, like too much would break the room. I learned how to hold myself back before you ever asked me to. I thought limits meant safety, that boundaries proved we were wise. But love shouldn't feel like measuring how much of yourself you're allowed to bring inside. Your love arrived with limits, and I adjusted mine. Not on love, not refused, just careful all the time. We didn't fight, we didn't fall, no rule ever spelled out. Your love arrived with limits, and my heart learned some care comes with conditions you feel before they're spoken out loud. I softened my needs instinctively, edited what I shared. I learned which feelings stayed welcome and which ones made the room too heavy to bear. You said love shouldn't feel demanding, the balance keeps things fair. But love shouldn't feel like shrinking just to stay within someone else's comfort zone. I confuse restraint with maturity, distance with being calm. But love that needs you smaller is love that was never ready for all you are. Your love arrived with limits, I felt it in my chest, and the way my honesty learned when to rest. You said I was asking for too much, that this was how love grows. Your love arrived with limits, and I slowly learned how often I chose silence just to keep you close. Maybe limits made you feel safer, kept everything contained, because loving without conditions can feel dangerous when you're afraid of what it might change. I didn't need endless intensity or love without shape. I just needed to know I was welcome without trimming parts of myself away. Now I listen for expansion, for love that breathes me in. I trust the places where my feelings don't have to ask permission to exist. I'm learning limits belong to fear, not to love at rest. And love that arrives with too many limits is love that never planned to fully stay. Your love arrived with limits, and I stayed longer than I should. Not because I didn't feel the constraint, but because I remember the good. I'll remember us without bitterness, without shrinking who I am. Your love arrived with limits, and choosing myself is how I learned. Love should feel open and receiving, like space that doesn't close, and not something you tiptoe inside carefully, while your heart learns how to disappear to fit. Some love doesn't break you, it contains you. And when love arrives with limits, you're allowed to notice, to choose connection that expands you, to want love that welcomes your whole shape, and a way for a heart that doesn't answers without fear, without making you wonder if being yourself was asking too much. We learned each other's substance before we learned goodbye. It showed up in small moments, in the way we stopped reaching without asking why. You were still there in body, still saying all the right things, but something quiet went missing and never announced. It was leaving. I thought absence meant distance, that loss requires space, but absence can live beside you and still empty the place. We learned each other's absence and called it being fine. Not distant, not dramatic, just drifting at the same time. We didn't fight, we didn't fall, no ending to accuse. We learned each other's absence, and love faded through the things we didn't choose to feel. Notice how silence lingered longer, how laughter left too soon. We shared time without sharing weight, like we were practicing being alone together in the room. You asked if something was wrong, I said I didn't know. But absence isn't always sudden, it's something you slowly grow into without noticing. I confuse calm with connection, familiar with being close, but love can disappear quietly when presence stops being fully chosen. We learned each other's absence, I felt it in my chest, in the way my honesty arrived and quietly left. You said maybe this was normal, that love just changes shape. We learned each other's absence, and intimacy slowly forgot how to stay. Maybe absence didn't come from leaving, but from staying halfway in. Because hearts don't always walk out, sometimes they just stop bleeding all the way. Drama or closure, or reasons wrapped in blame. I just needed to know when presence became optional, love wasn't the same. Now I notice when something's missing, even if nothing looks wrong. I trust the feeling of emotional distance before it learns how to last too long. I'm learning absence is information, not something to explain away. And when you learn someone's absence, your heart already knows what won't stay. We learned each other's absence, and I stayed longer than I should. chance, but because I remember the good, I remember us without bitterness, without forcing what we were. We learned each other's absence, and choosing myself is how I learned. Love should feel present and alive, not like something you grow used to miss, and not something you sit beside every day while quietly learning how to be alone. Some absence doesn't come from distance, it comes from disengagement. And when you learn someone's absence, you're allowed to listen, to choose connection that shows up fully, to one love that stays engaged, and to wait for a heart that doesn't slowly disappear while standing right next to you, that stays, that leans in, and that never makes absence feel normal. I stay where hope used to sit, like it might come back on its own. I kept the chair exactly the same, left space for a feeling that had quietly outgrown the room. The light still fell the way it used to, nothing looked out of place. But hope isn't furniture you wait beside, it's something that leaves when it stops being fed. I thought hope rested sometimes, that patience would call it home. But hope doesn't survive on memory, it needs movement to stay warm. I stay where hope used to sit and called it being strong, not faithful, not brave, just waiting after hope was already gone. We didn't fight, we didn't break, no moment to admit I stayed where hope used to sit. And my heart learned waiting isn't loyalty when nothing's reaching back for it. I replayed old conversations, read meaning into tone. I told myself silence meant healing, that time was still working behind the scenes. You said things would feel different later, that love moves slow like that. But hope shouldn't feel like standing still while life keeps walking past. I confused hope with delay, belief with holding tight. But hope that asks you to pause your life is hope that's already lost. Is a light, I stay where hope used to sit. I felt it in my chest, and the way my future waited for permission to exist. You said I was just being patient, that this was part of love. I stayed where hope used to sit and slowly learn. Hope doesn't live where effort doesn't show up. Maybe hope left quietly because it wasn't being chosen. Because hope needs action, I promise it's still learning how to open. I didn't need certainty or answers or guarantees to stay. I just needed hope that walked with me, not something I kept seated while my life stayed on delay. Now I notice where hope lives, in motion, not in pause. I trust the pull toward alignment more than words that never cross. Into now I'm learning hope isn't fragile, it's that's honest and awake and staying where it used to be is how you miss where hope is trying to take you. I stay where hope used to sit, and I stay longer than I should. Not because I didn't feel the absence, but because I remember the good. I remember us without bitterness, without keeping the sea warm. I stay where hope used to sit, and choosing myself is how I learn. Hope should move you forward, not keep you waiting in place. Not something you protect with patience, while your heart quietly learns how to let go. Some hope doesn't die, it relocates. And when you stay where hope used to sit, you're allowed to stand, to follow where it's going now, to choose movement over memory, and to trust that real hope doesn't ask you to wait forever. It asks you to walk, to choose and to live while your heart is still open. Love sounded tired that day, not angry, just warmth. It showed up in your voice, in the pauses between words you didn't mean to give in. You spoke like love was a task, something to finish, not feel. I heard it before you noticed, in the way care stopped reaching for what was real. I thought time meant temporary, that rest would bring it back. But some tide isn't from effort, it's from staying where your heart can't fully relax. Love sounded tired that day, and something in me went still. Not hurt, not surprised, just aware of what love couldn't will. We didn't fight, we didn't break, no moment to display. Love sounded tired that day, and my heart learned fatigue can be the sound of love quietly letting go. We talked about simple things, plans that didn't reach too far. Your laughter arrived late, like it had traveled a longer distance than before. I noticed how effort hesitated, how affection arrived delayed. Love didn't leave dramatically, it sat down, exhaled, and asked not to be explained. I confused exhaustion with honesty, stillness with being true. But love that sounds tired is love that's been carrying too much alone. Love sounded tired that day, I felt it in my chest, and the way my hope lowered its voice and tried not to ask for more. You said nothing was really wrong, that you were just drained. Love sounded tired that day, and instinct finally admitted something was wasn't going to return the same. Or maybe love gets tired when it stops being chosen, because care can't survive a memory once present starts closing. I didn't need louder affection or promises to stay. I just needed love that still sounded alive when it said my name. Now I listen to tone and timing, to what effort sounds like when it's real. I trust the moments where love doesn't sigh before it reaches for me. I'm learning tired isn't always restlessness. Sometimes it's truth arriving late. And when love sounds tired, your heart already knows what can't be saved by waiting. Love sounded tired that day, and I stayed longer than I should. Not because I didn't hear the change, but because I remember the good. I remember us without bitterness, without forcing energy to stay. Love sounded tired that day, and choosing myself is how I learned. Love should sound present and willing, not like something running on empty, not something you whisper encouragement to while it's already laying down. Some love doesn't end in silence, it ends in exhaustion. And when love sounds tired, you're allowed to listen, to stop carrying what's no longer shared, to choose connection that still has breath, and to wait for a love that sounds awake when it speaks, that doesn't sigh through affection, and that never makes you wonder if staying is just helping love disappear more gently. You looked away too often, like eye contact asked for too much. I felt it in small moments, when my words reached for you and came back untouched. You listened without leaning in, nodded like you understood, but your eyes were already elsewhere, looking past me like love was something you no longer needed to prove. I thought looking away meant thinking that distance was just your way, but love shouldn't feel like waiting for someone to turn back and stay. You looked away too often, and I noticed every time. Not rejected, not accused, just unseen in a quiet line. We didn't fight, we didn't break, no moment to confront. You looked away too often, and my heart learned love can fade without ever saying it's done. I started choosing my timing carefully, waiting for your eyes to meet mine. I softened my voice instinctively, so attention wouldn't feel like a demand or a sign. You said you were just distracted lately, that nothing had really changed. But attention isn't something you promise, it's something you give. take away. I confuse distraction with patience, distance with being kind. But love shouldn't feel like competing with everything else for someone's mind. You looked away too often, I felt it in my chest, and the way my feelings started waiting before asking to be met. You said I was overthinking, that this was all in my head. You looked away too often, and instinct finally believed what it had already said. Maybe looking away felt safer than facing what I needed to say. Because eye contact asks for presence, and presence asks you to stay. I didn't need constant focus or attention without breath. I just needed you to look at me like I mattered in the same room we shared. Now I notice where eyes linger, where attention feels warm. I trust the people who stay present, who don't drift mid-sentence or mid-form. I'm learning love is directional, it shows you where it's safe. And when someone looks away too often, your heart already knows what's no longer being chosen. You looked away too often, and I stayed longer than I should. Not because I didn't feel the absence, but because I remember the good. I'll remember us without bitterness, without forcing what we were. You looked away too often, and choosing myself is how I learned. Love should feel attentive and alive, like eyes that meet yours without effort. Not something you keep explaining quietly while you're present. Slowly becomes invisible. Some distance doesn't come from space, it comes from attention. And when someone looks away too often, you're allowed to notice, to choose love that looks back, that stays present without being asked, and to wait for a heart that doesn't drift while you're speaking, that meets your gaze honestly, and that never makes you wonder briefly seen. I chose quiet over honest, because truth felt too loud. I swallow words mid-sentence, smooth the edges of what I felt before it could stand out. I didn't want to cause a moment, didn't want to shift the air, so I kept my honesty folded, tucked inside a silence I learned how to wear. I thought quiet meant maturity, that calm showed I was kind, but quiet can become a shelter when you're afraid of what honesty might unwind. I chose quiet over honest, and called it being strong. Not brave, not healed, just careful slowly breaking you. I nodded when I should have spoken, smiled when I felt unsure. I learned how to keep things peaceful by pretending I needed less than I did. You said things felt easier lately, that nothing felt off to you. But ease built on unspoken truth is just distance, learning how to look polite. I confused harmony with hiding, stillness with being wise. But love that avoids honesty is love already compromising itself. I chose quiet over honest. I felt it in my chest, in the way my feelings stopped arriving. Fully dressed, you said, I see more distant now, that something felt withdrawn. I chose quiet over honest, and intimacy quietly moved on. Maybe quiet felt safer than risking what might change, because honesty asks for movement, and movement can rearrange everything you hope would stay the same. I didn't need to be harsh or loud, or true shape like blame. I just needed space where honesty wasn't something I had to tame. Now I listen to my pauses, to what I stop myself from saying. I trust the urge to speak gently before silence starts deciding. For me, I'm learning honesty isn't chaos, it's clarity with breath. And choosing quiet too often is how you slowly disappear from yourself. I chose quiet over honest, and I stay longer than I should, not because I didn't know the truth, but because I remember us without bitterness, without wishing I spoke sooner. I chose quiet over honest, and choosing myself is how I learned love should feel safe enough for truth, not something you preserve with silence, not something you protect by shrinking your voice while your heart learns to live unheard. Some silence isn't peace, it's fear wearing calm. And when you choose quiet over honest, you're allowed to change, to let truth speak softly but clearly, to want love that welcomes honesty, and to wait for a heart that doesn't ask you to stay silent, to be kept, that listens when you speak, and that never makes you feel like honesty was asking too much. We shared space, not feeling like that was enough to stay. Your things beside my things, our life organized in the same place, but never quite in the same way. I noticed how we move politely, careful not to cross too deep. We learn how to coexist gently without ever asking what we closeness came from proximity, that being near meant we were fine. But space can be full of absence when hearts never fully arrive. We shared space, not feelings, and called it being okay. Not distant, not dramatic, just present in a shallow way. We didn't fight, we didn't break, no truth to reveal. We shared space, not feelings, and my heart learned together doesn't always mean you're real with me. We talked about days and schedules, about things that didn't ache. I saved my heavier questions for moments that never felt safe. You said things felt stable lately, that calm was finally here. But calm without vulnerability is just silence learning how to appear. I confuse peace with comfort, routine with something true. But love shouldn't feel like sharing air while hiding what's moving inside you. We shared space, not feelings. I felt it in my chest, in the way my honesty waited before asking to rest. You said maybe I was overthinking and nothing had changed. We shared space, not feelings, and intimacy quietly slipped away. Maybe sharing feelings felt risky, like it asked too much of us. Because once you open what you carry, you have to decide if you'll stay present or pull back from trust. I didn't need constant depth or emotion every night. I just needed to know I wasn't alone in the same room every time. Now I notice emotional distance, even when everything looks fine. I trust the places where connection doesn't require me to read between lines. I'm learning space is easy to share, but feelings ask you to show. And love that won't meet you emotionally is love. It already chose how far it will go. We shared space, not feelings, and I stay longer than I should. Not because I didn't feel the emptiness, but because I remember the good. I remember us without bitterness, without forcing what we were. We shared space, not feeling, and choosing myself is how I learned. Love should feel emotionally present, like hearts that meet, not just rooms. Not something you experience quietly while standing beside someone feeling low. Some loneliness isn't about being alone, it's about being unseen. And when you share space without feelings, you're allowed to want more, to choose connection that reaches inward, to want love that shows up emotionally, and to wait for a heart that doesn't just live near, but with you. That shares more than space, and that never makes emotional distance feel normal or acceptable. Your distance had a pattern I just didn't want to name it. It arrived after closeness, after moments that felt too real. To stay unguarded, you pull back when things soften, When my voice stops racing, I learned to recognize the timing, how warmth made step away without explaining. I thought distance was random, that moods came and went, but distance becomes a pattern when it appears. Every time connection deepens, your distance had a pattern, and I noticed it too late. Not cold, not cruel, just consistent as retreat. We didn't fight, we didn't fall, no reason to accuse. Your distance had a pattern, and my heart learned what repeats is what you're choosing. I started pacing my honesty, waiting for the pullback to pass. I learned how to enjoy closeness in short chapters before the quiet returned again. You said you needed space sometimes, that love doesn't cling, but space that follows intimacy is just fear. Learning how to breathe. I confused independence with avoiding, freedom with being calm, but love shouldn't disappear right after it begins to feel like home. Your distance had a pattern, I felt it in my chest. In a way, my hope lowered its expectations just to rest. You said I was reading too much, that nothing was planned. Your distance had a pattern, and intuition finally understood what my heart had been trying to defend. Safer than staying emotionally close, because closeness asks you to be seen, and being seen means you can't easily go. I didn't need constant reassurance or closeness without air. I just needed to know you wouldn't retreat every time there. Now I watch consistency, not just what someone says. I trust the rhythm of their presence more than promises spoken gently in advance. I'm learning patterns are information, not something to excuse, and love that pulls back on schedule is love. It's already showing you it's true. Your distance had a pattern, and I stayed longer than I should. Not because I didn't see it repeating, but because I remember us without bitterness, without forcing what we were. Your distance had a pattern, choosing myself is how I learn. Love should feel consistent and present, not something you study for science, not something you embrace but quietly every time it gets close. Some distance isn't accidental, it's habitual. When distance has a pattern, you're allowed to notice, to choose love that stays when it's deep, to one connection that doesn't retreat, and I wait for a heart that doesn't pull away in cycles, that remains present when closeness grows, and that never makes you wonder if intimacy will be followed by absence again. I loved you without safety, without a place to land. I gave you my hope and nervous system. Called it trust, called it faith, while my heart stays standing without a hand. I leaned in before I checked the ground. Believe love would hold me still, but love without reassurance turns devotion to a quiet test of will. I thought love meant vulnerability, risk was proof of truth, but safety isn't weakness, it's the ground that lets love move without fear. I loved you without safety, and it cost me rest. Not dramatic, not loud, just constantly on alert. Inside my chest, we didn't fight, we didn't break. No danger we could name. I loved you without safety, and my heart learned love shouldn't feel like standing unprotected in the rain. I learned how to read your moves, how to brace before you spoke. Waited for consistency like it was something I had to earn, by being soft, by being low. You said love needs freedom, that security comes later. But love that never feels safe is love that keeps you in survival mode. I confuse intensity with closeness, urgency with care. But love shouldn't feel like you're always preparing for it to disappear. I loved you without safety, I felt it in my breath, in the way my body never fully came to rest. You said I worry too much, that love isn't a guarantee. I loved you without safety and learned peace is an option over something meant to be. I thought love required danger, that calm and it wasn't real, because chaos once taught me that intensity was how love should feel. I didn't need control or promises or certainty carved in stone. I just needed love that didn't leave my nervous system feeling like it was on its own. Now I notice how safety feels in tone, in time, and in care. I trust the people who stay consistent, who don't make love feel like something you survive just to be there. I'm learning love isn't adrenaline, it's presence that stays, and loving without safety, it's how you lose yourself trying to prove you're brave. I loved you without safety, and I stayed longer than I should, not because I didn't feel the harm, but because I remember the good. I remember us without bitterness, without glorifying the pain. I loved you without safety, and choosing myself is how I learned love should feel. passionate. It's destabilizing. And if you love someone without safety, you're not weak. You were unprotected. But healing begins when you choose love that calms your body, that doesn't keep you braced, and that lets your heart rest fully without fear of the ground. Love didn't stay where I left it, right where we last agreed. I placed it gently between us, like it would wait until we were ready to need it again. I thought love understood patience, that it knew how to remain. But love isn't something you pause politely and moves on when it isn't chosen the same. I believe love stayed loyal to memory, that time wouldn't make it wrong. But love doesn't live in yesterday, it lives where attention feels like home. Love didn't stay where I left it, and that broke me quietly. Not suddenly, not loudly, just missing where I expected it to be. We didn't fight, we didn't end, no moment to explain. Love didn't stay where I left it, and my heart learned love won't wait forever to be claimed. I return to familiar places, expecting the same warmth, but rooms remember differently when feelings have already moved on. You spoke like nothing had changed, like love was still nearby. But I could feel the air was thinner, like something essential had already said goodbye. I confuse trust with assumption, belief with standing still. But love that is intended to quietly learns how to leave on its own will. Love didn't stay where I left it, I felt it in my chest, in the way my hope arrived late and found an empty space instead. You said maybe we'll return, that love circles back in time. Love didn't stay where I left it, and I finally learned some love doesn't rewind. Maybe I thought love was furniture, something you set down and retrieve. But love is movement, not storage. It breathes where it's allowed to breathe. I didn't need drama or endings or blame to explain the shift. I just needed to accept that love won't stay where it isn't lived. Now I follow where love responds, not where it used to be. I trust presence over memory, and alignment over what once felt safe to me. I'm learning love isn't sentimental, it's honest in a way. And when love doesn't stay where you left it, it's already showing you the path you need to take. Love didn't stay where I left it, and I stayed longer than I should. Not because I didn't feel the absence, but because I remember the good. I remember us without bitterness, without trying to return. Love didn't stay where I left it, and choosing my moving away. Some love doesn't disappear, it relocates. And when love doesn't stay where you left it, you're allowed to follow, to move toward where it's alive now, to stop guarding empty places and to trust that real love doesn't wait in the past. It meets you in the present with open hands and stay, because it's chosen every day. We pretended this was enough, like comfort could replace care. We stayed inside the familiar, calling it love because leaving felt harder than staying aware. I told myself less was still something, that quiet meant we were fine. But pretending takes energy, and my heart was getting tired of lying in time. I thought enough was subjective, that love didn't need to feel full, but enough shouldn't feel like settling for what doesn't actually hold you. We pretended this was enough and wore it like a shield, not happy, not breaking, just surviving what we refused to feel. We didn't fight, we didn't fall, no truth to interrupt. We pretended this was enough, and my heart learned pretending costs more than giving up. We measured love in small gestures, in showing up and staying polite. I learned how to shrink my needs so nothing would feel too bright. You said love isn't always fireworks, the calm is how it grows. But calm without emotional presence is just distance, moving slow. I confuse stability with connection, routine with something real. But love shouldn't feel like endurance, just to keep everything sealed. We pretended this was enough. I felt it in my chest, in the way my honesty waited for a safer yes. You said maybe I wanted too much, that this was how things are. We pretended this was enough, and intimacy quietly stopped trying to reach us. Maybe pretending felt kinder than admitting the truth, because once you say it isn't enough, you have to choose between comfort and you. I didn't need perfection or intensity or love without rest. I just needed to stop pretending that surviving was the same as feeling met. Now I notice when enough feels heavy, when it sounds like compromise. I trust the discomfort of honesty more than the calm that slowly asks you to minimize. I'm learning enough should feel nourishing, not like something you convince. And love that needs needs pretending is love that already crossed its limit. We pretended this was enough, and I stayed longer than I should. Not because I didn't feel the emptiness, but because I remember the good. I'll remember us without bitterness, without forcing what we were. We pretended this was enough, and choosing myself is how I learned. Love should feel mutual and alive, like presence that doesn't need excuses. Not something you talk yourself into quietly while your heart learns to live half full. Some love doesn't end in anger. It ends in acceptance of less. And when you pretend something is enough, you're allowed to stop, to want more than survival, to choose connection that reaches back, and to wait for a love that doesn't require pretending it feels enough without explanation. And that means your heart fully where it stands.
Your silence felt organized, like you knew exactly when to arrive. It showed up after closeness, after moments that asked too much honesty to survive. You didn't stop speaking completely, you just stated it what mattered most. I felt the shape of your quiet before I noticed how carefully you chose but not to disclose. I thought silence meant processing, that space was something kind. But silence with a schedule isn't rest, it's distant by design. Your silence felt organized, and I learned this routine. Not random, not confused, just measured and clean. We didn't fight, we didn't fall, and no truth left to revive. Your silence felt organized, and my heart learned some quiet isn't peace, it's control in disguise. Pause when questions deepen, answer later, never now. You kept things emotionally efficient, like feelings were something to manage, not allow. I learned how to tell my honesty, how to wait before I spoke. I started rehearsing my needs, so your silence wouldn't arrive and close the door again. I confused calm with intention, structure with being wise. But love shouldn't feel like navigating around someone else's internal guidelines. Your silence felt organized, I felt it in my chest, in the way my truth learned where not to rest. Quiet helped you think. Your silence felt 'Cause once emotions get messy, you have to admit where you are. I didn't need constant conversation or answers every night. I just needed to know silence wasn't something you used to avoid me when things felt real. Now I listen to patterns, not just words or tone. I notice when silence arrives right on time to keep me from getting too close. I'm learning silence can be strategic. Not all quiet is neutral or free. And when silence feels organized, your heart already knows it's being managed. Now I met your silence felt organized, and I stayed longer than I should. Not because I didn't feel the distance, but because I remember the good. I remember us without bitterness, without forcing what we were. Your silence felt organized, and choosing myself is how I learned. Love should feel responsive and open, not something you tiptoe around emotionally, not something you wait to be invited into. Our silence decided what's alive. Some silence isn't accidental, it's curated. And when silence feels organized, you're allowed to notice, to choose communication that stays present, to want love that doesn't manage connection, and to wait for a heart that speaks even when it's uncomfortable, that doesn't hide behind structure and that lets honesty exist without needing permission. I waited longer than I should, like patience could change the truth. I stood still while time kept moving, calling it devotion, calling hope, proof. I kept the door unlocked for you, even when nothing knocked. I told myself waiting was loving, while my life quietly stayed on pause. I thought waiting meant commitment, that love rewarded time, but waiting can slowly become the way you abandon your own life. Dramatic, not desperate, just tired in a quiet way. We didn't fight, we didn't end, no reason to explain. I waited longer than I should, and my heart learned waiting doesn't mean you're chosen. Sometimes it just means you stay. I waited for clarity to arrive, for effort to meet my kill. I stayed emotionally available in rooms where no one was really there. You said timing was complicated, that things would settle soon, but love shouldn't feel like holding your breath indefinitely in the same room. I confused faith with postponement, belief was standing still, but love that keeps you waiting forever is love that already left the wheel. I waited longer than I should,
what's real, that rushing ruins things. I waited longer than I should, and learned choosing myself isn't quitting, it's listening. Maybe waiting felt safer than facing what wasn't coming, because letting go means admitting some love lives only in potential, not in reality. I didn't need guarantees or answers or promises to stay. I just needed to stop arranging my life around someone else's maybe. Now I move when something feels right, not when someone allows. I trust momentum over excuses, and present over words that never turn into now. I'm learning waiting isn't devotion, it's the choice you make each day. And stopping doesn't mean you stop loving, it means you stop putting your life on delay. I waited longer than I should, and I stayed longer than I should, not because I didn't see the pattern, but because I remembered the good. I remember us without bitterness, without blaming what we were. I waited longer than I should, and choosing myself is how I learn. Love should move with you in real time, not keep you standing on hold, not something you postpone your life for quietly while your heart grows tired of waiting to be chosen. Some waiting isn't patience, it's postponement. And when you waited longer than you should, you're allowed to forgive yourself for hoping, for believing, for staying so. Because the bravest moment is the one where you stop waiting, step forward without permission, trust that the right love doesn't ask you to pause your life just to prove you care. Love didn't ask what I needed, it assumed I'd be okay. It showed up with good intentions, but never paused to hear what my silence was trying to say. I learned how to adapt quietly, how to fit without demand. I kept my knees folded neatly like love would break if I asked for a hand. I thought love could read hearts, that care didn't need a question. But love that never asks is love that's guessing instead of listening. Love didn't ask what I needed, and I stopped asking too. Not because I didn't know myself, but because I didn't feel safe enough to tell the truth. We didn't fight, we didn't fall, no need to defend. Love didn't ask what I needed, and my heart learned being loved isn't the same as being understood. I watched you give what felt natural, what made sense to you. I accepted it with gratitude, even when it didn't reach where I was hurting through. You said love shouldn't be complicated, that asking makes it heavy. But love that avoids curiosity leaves one heart doing all the translating steadily. I confuse appreciation with This love didn't ask what I needed. I felt it in my chest, in the way my wants learned to whisper instead of asking to be addressed. You said I seemed content enough, that everything looked fine. Love didn't ask what I needed, and I slowly learned how loneliness can exist inside kindness. Maybe love was afraid to ask, because answers change things. Because once you know what someone needs, you have to decide if you're willing to give it or walk away. I didn't need perfection or sacrifice, or love shaped like obligation. I just needed love that was curious about me, not love that assumed my silence meant satisfaction. Now I notice who asks questions, who listens without defense. I trust the people who wanna know how I feel before deciding what love means. I'm learning needs are burdens, they're bridges if you care. And love that never asks what you need is love that was never planning to meet you there. Love didn't ask what I needed, and I stayed longer than I should. Not because I didn't feel the absence, but because I remember the good. I remember us without bitterness, without blaming what we were. Love didn't ask what I needed, and choosing myself is how I learn. Love should feel attentive and responsive, like someone who wants to understand, not something you quietly adjust yourself around while you're howling fate. Some love doesn't fail loudly, it overlooks gently. And when love doesn't ask what you need, you're allowed to speak, to choose connection that's curious, to want love that listens before it gives, and to wait for a heart that asks questions with care, that doesn't assume your silence is consent, and that never makes you feel like needing something was asking too much.
We let normal days decide, no moments are enough to speak. Just moments that looked harmless, coffee cooling, words exchanged before either of us asks to be. But then dramatic asks for change, no breaking point in sight. I didn't leave in a rush. You learned how to fade inside what felt perfectly fine. Our fall love needed conflict, and endings came with sound. But love can disappear quietly, merging, starts making all the choices. We had normal days inside, and didn't argue back. Not unhappy, not in pain, just drifting off the track. We didn't fight, we didn't fall, no goodbye left for sides. We had normal days decide in my heart. Sometimes love every thought ever, making noise, We talked about schedules and weather, about things that didn't ask for truth. I noticed how my laughter started arriving after you finished first. You said things felt steady lately, then nothing really changed. But Lord, should I feel like maintenance, like something you quietly say for ease? I confuse comfort with connection, familiar with being close, but love needs more than coexistence to remember why it chose to stay. We had no more days beside. I felt it in my chest, in a way my hope stopped beating forward, and mine to rest unless he said maybe this was growing up, that passion always slows. Say that no more days to side and intimacy. Why they let go? Maybe normal days felt safer, and asking what we needed. Because once you question enough, you have to choose whether comfort is worth what's missing. But didn't need fireworks or chaos, with love it burning too bright. Just heeding love and staying intentional, even on ordinary nights. Now I pay attention to patterns, to what repeats without care. I trust the days that still feel warm, not just quiet, not just there. Survive on habit, it needs to be chosen again. And when no more grace beside me, love slowly learns how to wait. We got no more days aside, and I stay longer than I should. Not because I didn't feel the distance, but because I remember the good. I remember us without endless, without forcing what we were. We had no more days to start, and choosing myself is how I love. Also feel intentional and alive, not something you lose someone see, not something you wake up beside one morning and realize has been gone longer than you knew. Some endings don't arrive subtly, they blend in. And when you let normal days decide, you're allowed to interrupt, to choose presence over autopilot, to want love that stays awake, and to wait for a heart. It chooses you deliberately on ordinary mornings, on quiet afternoons, and on days that don't look special. But
I left without
correcting you. Let your version stay intact. I didn't argue with your memory, didn't reach back to adjust what you believe was fact. I used to explain myself carefully, line by line, breath by breath. But something in me realized understanding shouldn't feel like a full-time test. I thought truth needed defending, that love required the right words. But some misunderstandings aren't confusion, they're comfort people choose to preserve. I left without correcting you, and that was my release. Not angry, not defeated, just finished trying to be seen. We didn't fight, we didn't break, no final point to prove. I left without correcting you, and my heart learned peace doesn't come from being right, it comes from being free. You spoke like you knew the ending, like I changed without a pause. I listened without interrupting, let your words sit where they landed without applause. I realized correcting you would only keep me there, still explaining my intentions to someone who wasn't listening, only preparing their defense. I confused clarity with closure, truth with being fair, but closure doesn't come from being understood by someone who's already decided what they'll hear. I left without correcting you, I felt it in my chest, in the way my body started bracing for the next misstep. You said silence meant agreement, that I had nothing left to say. I left without correcting you, and silence finally meant I chose myself that day. Maybe correcting you would have kept the door open, but I was tired of standing there, explaining my heart to someone who wasn't holding it. I didn't need you to understand me or see me the way I do. I just needed to stop translating myself into a language you never wanted to learn. Now I let people keep their stories if they need them to move on. I don't chase accuracy anymore when the cost is staying too long. I'm learning silence can be integrity, not surrender, not retreat, and leaving without correcting someone is choosing peace over the endless work of trying to be believed. I left without correcting you, and I stayed longer than I should. Not because I doubted my truth, but because I remembered the good. I remember us without bitterness, without rewriting who I was. I left without correcting you and choosing myself is how I learned. Love shouldn't require constant explanation or clarity that only goes one way. Not something you defend quietly while your heart waits to be met halfway. Some truths don't need witnesses, they need distance. And when you leave without correcting someone, you're not weak, you're done. Done proving, done clarifying, done shrinking your truth to fit another person's comfort. Because the right piece doesn't ask you to explain who you are. It recognizes you and lets you go whole.
My heart walks slower now, not because it's afraid, but because it learned the cost of loving too fast and calling it brave. I used to rush toward feeling like closeness needed to be earned. I thought speed meant sincerity, but my heart was burning faster than it could learn. I thought love should feel urgent, like something you chase to keep. But some hearts slow down when they finally learn what's worth their steps. My heart walks slower now, and it feels like truth. Not guarded, not closed, just careful with who. We didn't fight, we didn't fall, nothing loud or cruel. My heart walks slower now, and I finally trust what feels gentle and real. I don't confuse intensity with depth, or silence with being strong. I listen when something feels off, instead of explaining why it doesn't belong. I let moments arrive naturally, I let people show who they are. If love needs rushing or convincing, my heart no longer runs that far. I confuse patience with waiting and effort with proof. But love that's meant to stay doesn't ask you to outrun your truth. My heart walks slower now, I feel it in my chest, in the way my yes arrives only after it can rest. You said I used to feel deeper, that something in me changed. My heart walks slower now, and that's how I know I'm no longer loving from pain. Maybe slowing down is healing, not fear dressed as calm. Because fast love once taught me how to disappear while trying to belong. I didn't stop believing in love or in connection that stays. I just stopped letting my heart outrun what my body could safely sustain. Now I trust what unfolds gently, what doesn't tighten my breath. I listen when my body softens instead of bracing for what's next. I'm learning slow doesn't mean distant, it means present and awake. And a heart that walks slower is a heart that finally knows what to take. My heart walks slower now, and I stay longer imbalance, but because I remember the good. I remember us without bitterness, without wishing I was the same. My heart walks slower now, and choosing myself is how I learn. Love should feel steady and safe, like something that walks beside you, not something you chase until you're exhausted, just to feel chosen. Some hearts don't stop loving, they change pace. And when your heart walks slower now, you understand you didn't lose passion, you gained discernment. Because the right love won't ask you to hurry, won't demand urgency, and won't leave you breathless from trying to keep up. It will walk with you at a human speed and let your heart move slowly without fear. I'm learning how to hold myself when no one reaches back, how to stay with what I'm feeling without turning every ache into a question mark. I used to lean too early, trust arms that weren't prepared. I thought love meant being carried, but I was always the one left standing there. I thought holding myself meant hardness, the strength came from control, but holding yourself is staying present. When you finally stop asking someone else to make you whole, I'm learning how to hold myself, and it feels unfamiliar. Not lonely, not cold, just quiet, in a way that's clearer. We didn't fight, we didn't fall, nothing loud to explain. I'm learning how to hold myself, and my heart learned stability doesn't always arrive with someone's name. I listen to my breath more often, notice when my body tightens. I don't rush past discomfort now just to keep something alive that's already weakening. I stopped asking to be chosen, stopped waiting to be safe. I started offering myself the patience I begged for and never received. I confused dependence with closeness, attachment with being seen. But love that requires losing yourself isn't love, it's fear disguised as need. I'm learning how to hold myself, I feel it in my chest, in the way my emotions don't scatter, looking for a place to rest. You said I'd grow more distant, that something in me changed. I'm learning how to hold myself, and that's how I know I'm finally staying. Maybe no one taught me this before, how to sit with what I feel, because I learned love through urgency, through proving, through bending, until nothing felt real. I didn't stop wanting connection or a hand to intertwine. I just stopped abandoning myself every time someone else couldn't show up on time. Now I stay when emotions rise, I don't rush them out the door. I let sadness finish speaking instead of apologizing for needing more. I'm learning self-holding isn't isolation, it's presence that doesn't flee. And the more I stay with myself, the less I beg to be held in perfect
stayed longer than I should. Not because I didn't feel the imbalance, but because I remember the good. I remember us without bitterness, without needing to be carried again. I'm learning how to hold myself, and choosing myself is how I learn. Love should feel supportive and safe, like arms that don't disappear, not something you reach for desperately, while your heart learns to stand alone. Some healing doesn't look like strength, it looks like presence. And when you learn how to hold yourself, you understand you weren't asking for too much. You were asking the wrong places. Because the deepest kind of love begins the moment you stop letting go of yourself and learn to stay gently with everything you are. Peace doesn't need an explanation. It arrived without asking why. It didn't come with reasons or closure, just a softer way my chest learned how to rise. I used to justify every feeling, translate calm into proof. But peace doesn't argue its presence, it stays when something finally stops hurting you. I thought peace came after answers, after everything made sense. But peace comes when you stop negotiating with what your body has already said. Peace doesn't need an explanation, it doesn't raise its voice, not loud, not dramatic, just steady in the way it shows me. We didn't fight, we didn't break, nothing to defend. Peace doesn't need an explanation, and my heart learned rest doesn't require permission. In the end, I stopped rehearsing conversations, stopped proving I was right. I let misunderstandings remain unfinished and chose my breath over another late night. You asked why I seemed different, why I wasn't the same. But peace doesn't announce itself, it just settles when you stop calling discomfort love. I confuse peace with distance, stillness with giving up. But peace is an absence of feeling, it's the presence of not needing more. Peace doesn't need an explanation, I felt it in my chest, in the way my shoulders lowered themselves without being asked. You said maybe I was avoiding things, that silence was unfair. Peace doesn't need an explanation, and I stopped apologizing for being somewhere I could finally breathe. Maybe peace scared me at first, because it didn't hurt like love used to. Because chaos once felt familiar, and calm didn't know what to prove. I didn't need healing wrapped in noise or closure shaped like pain. I just needed peace that didn't question why I chose to remain. Now I trust what feels gentle, what doesn't rush my heart. I listen when my body relaxes instead of bracing for the next part. Learning peace isn't boring, dishonesty at rest. And when peace doesn't need explaining, it's because you finally stop leaving yourself unaddressed. Peace doesn't need an explanation, and I stay longer than I should. Not because I didn't feel the imbalance, but because I remember the good. I remember us without bitterness, without needing things to end loud. Peace doesn't need an explanation, and choosing myself is how I learn. Peace should feel like home in your body, like quiet that doesn't ask you to leave. Not something you defend or justify endlessly, while your heart waits to be at ease. Some peace doesn't arrive early, it arrives honestly. And when peace doesn't need an explanation, you'd understand. You're not cold, you're not distant, you're done convincing. Because the truest calm is the one that stays without asking you to explain why you finally chose yourself.